What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 4 of the Flameside podcast. We're really excited to get this one to you guys today. I think you're going to like it. There's a lot in store.
Yeah, guys, happy to be back again. We do have a lot of fun stuff on the docket today.
Yeah, and I should we probably I think we should get this out of the way first. We're sorry. We fucked up. We hear your feedback. We acknowledge it. We read it. We know what it is. We're not funny. We're not funny, and we get that. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We will be funnier. Vince, can you be funnier?
Yeah, I'll try my damn hardest to be funny for you guys. I'll try to crack as many as possible. We also have other feedback, maybe too much sports on the show.
Yeah, it's too much sports. Yeah, we talk about sports ad nauseum. We always cut each other off. It's ridiculous. You're not cutting me the fuck off while I'm saying this. So yeah, we fucked up. I'm sorry. We're taking we're taking your feedback seriously. It matters to us. It matters to me. We're gonna be better, guys. I hope that you can understand that we're trying to learn from this.
Yeah, people are talking about, you're cutting off Shane. You're cutting off Shane. Let him talk. It's like, I know what's good for the show. Like, maybe sometimes we need to get this kid done?
Yeah, well, maybe not that. So, I don't know. That seems like more of an off-air conversation, but okay. So, um, yeah. So, what the fuck happened? Where did we leave off last week? Where did we leave off
Oh,
last week?
I do want to say, we were teasing a lot last week that we were going to go to New York or that I was going to go see you in New York. That
Yeah.
did not happen, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that did not happen. Are you going to tell them the real reason, or are you going to tell them the PG, the PC version?
I'll tell them the real version just because,
Okay.
I think that's what they deserve.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know if you guys saw this. Every single plane in America blew up. And
Dude,
so
that's not
I'm
the
just,
real reason.
okay, yes, I'm busting chops. The
No,
flights were too
whoa.
expensive.
I mean, okay. If you're gonna
I,
lie like that,
I'll give you my other reasons too. Flights were too expensive. I'm going to New York end of May for 170 was my ticket round flight, and I wasn't not going to be able to get to New York this past weekend for anything uh less than like $400. So it was just not really ethical money wise, and then also or not ethical, economical. But yeah. What do you have to say? I see you have to.
can I cut you off right there? Actually,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And so I know that I'm not supposed to cut you off, but I think this is one of the times that I actually can. Vince, you're not being funny right now. That's not funny.
yeah.
That didn't make me laugh. Well, dude, and it's also weird because that's not the reason you told me at all when we talked about this. When we talked, you told me you had like a That's So Raven-esque vision of the end of game two and how that unfolded. And you said you couldn't you said that you couldn't bear to put yourself through that. So I don't know why you're changing your story.
I had a vision of him throwing that self lob and like falling and dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. That's so Raven. I never watched that.
You never watched That's So Raven?
No.
Oh, wow. It was this Disney Channel show where this girl would have like visions of the future. And I kind of forget how it was relevant to the plot. I think that she just was like, she was like a regular like high school girl with like, she had a couple of friends and like they just did regular high school stuff. But she was also a psychic. I don't know if there was much else
Oh.
to it. But so yeah, she has these like random like visions. And like the That's So Raven theme music would play. And
Wait, did you watch the show?
yes.
Did she have any other powers?
No, I think it was just that. I think she was otherwise a very regular girl. It was my sister's favorite show, so maybe she would know more. But I do remember watching it. I mean, it was like pretty early for me even. Like I'm talking like this is probably popular like 2005, 2006. Let me get a fact check on that. That's so Raven um time? What's the proper way to look up when a show I don't even know.
Release date?
2003 to 2007 is when it was coming out. That aligns. Yeah, I was young. I
Oh.
was born in 2000 for
Yeah, I
those
never
references.
caught that so Raven. What was your childhood show?
I watched a lot of Ed, and Nettie. I watched a lot of SpongeBob, and a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, the anime Yu-Gi-Oh. I watched an absurd amount of that. So that was kind of
Hmm.
my trio. What about you?
Makes a lot of sense, huh?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so my childhood shows were I guess Adventure Time is one big one for me. Regular show. I was also too young to be watching these shows at the time, but I would watch like so much of like the Seth MacFarlane shows and Groening shows and so Family Guy, Simpsons, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I watched those as well. I almost feel like I had this thought recently about like who kind of watches shows like Family Guy, and like I I don't know. This I'm not sure if this is a hot take or a canceled take, but I think Family Guy's target audience is like literal children or like idiots. Like, am I crazy? Like, because I think Family Guy is kind of funny. Like, especially looking back when I was like younger watching it. But like, the comedy is just so like so like dumbed down. Like, I don't know.
His
What do you think?
iconic like cutaway like jokes or
Yeah,
whatever.
like they're just not very funny. I don't like no they are kind of I don't know how to explain. Like they are funny, but they're so stupid. They're only funny because they are just so stupid, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It was so entertaining when I was really young. I don't even
Yeah.
know if I was like taking anything from it.
Yeah, I do. I will say, I think some of the Groening shows had a little bit more, not like I was, well, had a little more to them. I'll stand by that. I think Futurama had a couple episodes that really tugged at your heartstrings. I think Futurama was a pretty dope show.
Yeah, I recently watched Futurama, just like some
Not
episodes, and I thought it was really good.
not the new
Still,
season, right?
no, not the new season, older episodes.
New season's trash. Sorry,
I haven't seen them. I haven't
I
seen
haven't
those
really either.
episodes.
I just watched the most recent one I watched was like from the second to newest season, I think, and it's like I just wasn't doing it for me.
I on Friday I actually started a new show and finished it on Sunday, which is the
Holy.
Fallout show. Have you heard?
Oh, dude,
uh,
I actually want to watch that. How is it?
It's such a banger, dude. It's actually
Really?
amazing. I mean, I also just like the Fallout games are like so nostalgic for me. Like I didn't really play them a ton, but like I watched a lot of them and my older brother played New Vegas and I used to watch him play it. And dude, the show is just so good. The world is sick and like it's pretty like gory and violent, but it's fun.
That's awesome. So like there I know there's like a general storyline in the game, but it's pretty like open world, like do whatever. Like it like The Last of
Yeah.
Us show was like very based off of the plot because that the game obviously like kind of tells a story. Fallout, there's like a loose plot of like you're in like a fallout area where like there used to be like a nuclear explosion, so like you're just like in the aftermath, right?
Yeah, it's not like Last of Us in the way of how they would have like literal shots of the video game like lined up with the show where it's like this is when this happened and stuff. It's like not even based on like any specific game. It's like aspects of all of them and it's mostly Fallout 4 though. It's mostly based on that.
Okay. So like do they follow a character that was in the video game or is it just like
Yeah, no, not even. Well, I guess the ghouls in the video game, and they have other characters that are like in the game as well, but they're not really major. Like you follow just like a vault dweller, which is like, like the main thing about the show is like the people that are like, underground and they're all like hid away from the wasteland and all of like the drama with that. And she eventually has to go out into the wasteland and, her journey with that. And then she meets up with some dude who's like in the Brotherhood and he's mistreated and they team up and then yeah it's just you follow those three. You follow the ghoul who's like just like some radiated freak who's like 200 years old or whatever, and you follow Lucy the vault dweller, and then you follow Maximus. But it's just really funny, dude, and like it's raunchy and it's fun.
that's cool. Did you see so you did you watch the totality of Last of Us?
No, did not finish
No.
Last of Us.
But you watched the first couple episodes, right?
Yeah, I stopped after the episode with the gay guys.
Okay, I think that's the third episode.
I believe so.
Okay, so yeah, so you watched the first three of that. I don't think you watched Arcane, did you?
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just thinking those are kind of the three pillars of like video game turned into shows that I can think of that came out recently that got some hype. I personally thought Last of Us had some great moments, but ultimately fell flat. I thought Arcane rocked, and I'm looking forward to watching Fallout because it seems like it's pretty good. So
Definitely check
we'll
out
see.
Fallout. I would love to hear what you think about it, honestly.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you think about Arcane. You gotta watch Arcane. Arcane kicks
I
ass.
know that's one I need to get into. Damn, I've been waiting on that one for a long time.
Do you know any of the lore of League of Legends?
No.
I didn't either. I would recommend you don't look up anything before it because it's nice to like learn. I don't know. It's nice. It doesn't really matter, but like I think it's nice to kind of watch the characters as you go. And I think they're gonna have a season two of Arcane. At least I hope because it was a little bit of a cliffhanger. Hold on, let me make sure they're making a season two of
I've
Arcane.
been right at the entry gate of playing League of Legends before.
How close did you get?
Like downloaded it onto my computer.
Same. I actually have the same like thing as you, where it's like I downloaded it and like I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So
I just
we'll
can't.
see.
I can't.
November 24th, they're having season 2 of Arcane. I'm pumped for that. I like
Oh,
Arcane. So
sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, my
Uh,
like best friend back in the day played League of Legends when we were like 8 years old, and people
wow,
still play it, and
that's
he still
crazy.
plays it.
It's insane, like that game's lasting power and that game's grip on like on that community. And it's so weird because like it kind of gives Overwatch in the sense that the community just sounds so awful and toxic and annoying. But yeah, I mean it seems like a fun enough game. I have to block my camera for 1 second because I have my girlfriend walking by across the screen and she doesn't want to be on camera.
Yeah, and I'll do something fun on this camera so you guys don't have to worry about it.
Good job. I'm back. What's up, guys? So
Shane's
yeah, I
back.
think well at some point after I watch Fallout, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a mini tier list maybe between those three shows. I'm imagining I'm going to put Last of Us at the bottom, unfortunately. Even though, like I said, I kind of like Last of Us, but it really had some bad moments in my opinion. So yeah,
Yeah, that was like not a good show for me at all, but I did appreciate that third episode
yeah. Wait, why'd you drop it after the only like after your favorite episode?
because I knew it was gonna go back to freaking Joe and Ellie, and I was gonna have to hear, "Oh, Ellie, get
Yeah.
behind me."
Well, dude, especially the episode right after the third one is like a full length episode of them like driving in the car like to get
Oh,
to the next spot. And like I get it, their world building, their character building, their relationship building, but man, like it just really is tough to watch. It's a tough hang, and I think a big part of it is that like that game translating that game to a show I think is so difficult because it's like it would seem so easy, right? To just like take this like the story that was so successful and people like so much and just bring it over into the show and follow it completely. But like there's so many parts of the video game that just like aren't really made for TV. And like, there's like certain like, encounters they'd have that just like didn't really feel too intense or like the traveling journey, which I'm sure like having to travel across places in the game was like fun because like you had to like probably do little side quests and things like that or whatever. I honestly didn't fucking play the games. But like yeah, or maybe they just skipped the traveling in the game, but like it just didn't. It just like was such a weird pacing thing in the show, so wasn't a huge fan of that. So
I highly doubt
yeah,
I'll revisit that one.
no, I don't recommend it. I guess they'll probably make a season. Did they? Hey, did they confirm Last of Us season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Allison knows. So
Allison is actually, I guess that makes her technically our first guest ever.
yeah, first guest of the pod, Allison. Woo!
Wow. That's actually
Yeah.
awesome to finally have some contributions. You know, we do want to get guests on the show. Maybe
Yes,
as
we
soon as
do.
next week.
Are you gonna tease that right now? We're not in the teasing section yet.
I'm just such a teaser. I teased going to New York and then look at what happened. Thank
That's
God I
like
didn't though.
it's a core element of our pod to tease a little bit.
Do you want to get into email or you want to do some other stuff? I know you had an interesting topic you might want to talk about.
Oh well, I think I think I'm gonna follow your lead on that. Before we hopped into this Zoom chat just now, or actually after we hopped into the Zoom chat and before we pressed the record button, we were just chatting it up about I got hair falling out, man. I took a shower. I'm looking down. There's a clump of hair at my feet. Like what's that all about, right?
That's no good. That's truly no good.
No, it's not. And this is the third time that your reaction to me saying that has been like negative reaffirming of my fucking thoughts about that, which
Hey,
is that's
well,
not good. So thanks a lot.
dude, no, I shared a personal thing as well that I twist my hair and pull it out every single day of
Mhm.
my life. So I actually bought a fix for that. For any of
Oh
you,
yeah,
yeah, visual listeners, I actually just recently bought these combs. Have you guys ever heard of these?
a
You
comb?
guys, do you know what this is? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a comb.
Yeah, so you just comb instead of twisting it and pulling it out. That's me getting
Um,
real vulnerable with you guys on the
I gotta keep it real. This is not the topic. I wanted to use this as a springboard into a quarter life crisis topic, but we'll get to that. But real quick, I have never understood, and this is pathetic, what the point of a comb is. What does a comb do? Gets the knots out?
Yeah, it gets your knots out. I've never used one until like now that I looked up, hey, how do I stop twisting and pulling my hair out every single day?
I don't really like get knots like that though. Are motherfuckers like hair just like knotted the fuck up?
Well, they might be doing what I'm doing and twisting it.
I feel like that's not like
Also, I feel like mostly you see women using combs because they have
yeah.
nice long hair and stuff.
But I was told always told by my parents like, oh, you got to comb your hair, and I always be like, why? I don't get it.
I'm with you. I preferred like the messy look.
Oh, I guess it's like supposed to straighten it out and shit, right?
Yeah.
I guess it just doesn't really make sense. I mean, I got to keep it real. You're combing your hair right now, and you're not doing a damn thing to it. So,
Well, I have
all right.
headphones on.
Yeah, I
I'm just
guess.
like, I guess I'm just maybe trying to not twist my hair. I'm so nervous. Get this away from me. It's also like just a major fidget now. So
True. Yeah, I got I guess I have a comb right here too. My cat's like this. But anyway, I wanted to use that as a springboard and to say that, time's moving here. We're getting older. And with
hmm.
getting older comes crises, life crises, midlife crises, or in our case, we're closer to a quarter life crisis if we assume that we're going to live till we're 80 or beyond. We're around the quarter life crisis right now. And, the quarter life crisis doesn't get recognition. In fact, I don't think I hear it too much. And I'm not joking when I say I think it's a real thing, or at least it is for me right now. I feel like I'm going through a quarter life crisis, and like, sorry, I know it's like, oh, poor me. We're going to talk about me. It's the most important thing in the world is my current life stage. But I'm sorry, you clicked on a podcast hosted by me, so you're a dumbass for fucking thinking that in the first place. So anyway,
This is
yeah,
your
quarter life.
podcast, Shane. This
This is
is
my
also your
podcast.
podcast.
Oh, why is this guy talking about himself? Yo, you're the motherfucking one listening. So, um, right. So quarter life crisis. I don't think I'm going to reinvent the wheel here. I think it's probably pretty similar to a midlife crisis. I just think there's a lot going on with people our age who were kind of blossoming into adults at the time that the pandemic hit, and it's been kind of weird with that. Plus, like, I do think we're in a bit of an interesting time in history with how much closer we all are today through technology, with how many opportunities that's created us, how many opportunities it's taken away from us. It's really interesting to get into, and like I feel like I'm at a point of like of flux. I feel like I don't quite know what to do. I feel like I have good ideas of things I want to do, but I'm not quite sure, and I kind of want to get into it. How do you feel about all those things?
Yeah. I may not be the best person to ask just because just recently, really ever since we started the podcast, I started to feel like better about things. But like, pretty much in that period right before there, it's highly relatable. I've never quite known exactly what I want to do or where I want to go. But those are not very like easy things, and it is very comforting that that's like universal. A lot of people feel that way. They have no idea like what they want or where they want to go with things.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of kids that are like in our specific like year or like around it, like I doubt a whole lot of kids really are at a point where they're doing what they know they want to do or things like that. Because like shit, like we had like a couple year hiatus on like what things were supposed to be, and now like we're just kind of dropped back into it, and we're like approaching our mid 20s, and like I get it, and I think I'm being annoying right now to an extent, especially to people who are older who are like, oh dude, like you have so much time. Like there's probably people older than us as well who like don't know what the fuck to do. But I just think that like we have so many large decisions like all the time, right? Like I moved to New York this past year. That's big. I mean, I haven't fucking seen my friends more than one time since then. That's kind of crazy. Um, you moved in with two of your close friends and our close friends. I think that's a big change. I don't know how personal you want to get with this, but I kind of want to pester you about a couple of those things and hear how it's affected you.
Yeah, you could pester me.
Okay, why don't I lead you through my thoughts about it through questions, and you can kind of walk it through. And can you please try to be a little bit fucking funny? Jesus Christ! Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry.
Okay, well, I think it's a good starting point. Let's we're not going to talk about the pandemic because talking about the pandemic is cringe and everybody knows it, even though I kind of already did. But let's talk about moving out of your parents' house and in with your friends. What jumps at you? What jumps out at you from that? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I do feel some separation anxiety, I guess, from the fam, because I never went away to school or anything. So I spent like my latter years there. And I was never in, college or nothing. So, it was kind of hard with that at first, but luckily I didn't move very far, so I can see them, every week, and it's nice in that regard. I don't know, what kind of stuff are you looking for, like with in terms of like, I don't know how it affects me or.
Yeah, I guess just like you becoming like I don't know. Me personally, I always am kind of like thinking about like who I am as a person and like what decisions I make will lead to that. And like, you know, would you how would you consider like a feeling of independence perhaps moving out? Would you consider like you feel more on your own, more mature, more like control of things? Do those kind of feelings cross your mind?
Uh, not really, to be honest.
Huh.
Um, I don't know. I think what I noticed the most is living with new people,
Yeah,
that are not my family and trying to adapt to those people. I think that's the biggest thing so far for me.
sure.
I kind of wonder what it would be like to live alone. And then I think I would be feeling more like, you know, control and free, I guess.
Yeah. I that feeling of like control is something that I feel like matters to me in a sense. Like what I mean by that is when I would live like at home with my family and just like living with other people in general, at least like a lot of people can kind of like you don't feel quite as in control of like what you do and like how your day-to-day operates, I suppose, especially
Yeah.
when you're living like with your family and like and your parents who like have that kind of like default, you know, like hierarchy over you. I feel like it's impossible to kind of like be super independent in that sense, right? And so it's like um I had the pleasure of having a really great roommate when I went to undergrad college at Badger Nation, rise up! But that was nice. He was really great at being a calming influence, at being good at all things like that require like a good roommate. Like he was very tidy. He was very detail oriented. He was just he made living with him extremely easy, which I really appreciated. And I guess that gave me a taste of like, okay, I can be independent, but also have like a nice, like stable environment around me, and like that's great. And also living with my girlfriend now is awesome too because she's pretty chill and relaxed. And like honestly, she lets me be a little bit more messy. I can tend to be messy, which is nice, but also probably not nice because my older man made me be cleaner. But it's you know I've had the blessing of moving out and moving in with two different people that like make things really easy for me, and so um, that I feel like kind of definitely has a role in the way like I feel like I'm growing as like my own person in a way. I guess is what I was trying to I guess maybe lead you towards if you felt the same way.
Yeah, I'm kind of going off of what you said about your former roommate Nick and how he was kind of like the cleanliness one of the two. I kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel like I'm the glue guy of my apartment, you know. I'm that guy that comes off the bench. I keep the team together. You know, wherever they need me, I'm gonna do it. You know, if my
Uh-huh.
roommates happen to be extremely clean and they were always like, you know, doing the dishes and stuff, I probably wouldn't be that guy in my apartment, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because somebody's doing it. So I kind of just fill in where I'm needed. I feel like I'm, you know, I might be the apex roommate.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean everybody needs one, right? A little bit of a stabilizing force, a little bit of a get things done kind of Joe.
Yeah, I
So
mean, one of my roommates is fairly messy, you know, nothing against him, but you know, I pick up. I pick up after it, you know.
yeah, definitely. And I think it's only fair, you know, if people are going to give feedback, they're going to get feedback back. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all a
Well,
cycle. You know what
well,
I
I
mean?
wasn't talking to that about that roommate.
Oh, well, now we're singling people out. Now it's not cool anymore. But
Well,
yeah, yeah, I think I mean those are two pretty big moves for us that are both somewhat recent. You've actually been there for over a year now, right?
yep, over a year now. Definitely getting more comfortable. I feel like better than ever about being here and stuff.
Yeah,
I
it
have a
is.
question for you though.
Yeah.
So we're talking like crisis, quarter life crisis.
Uh-huh.
Where does the crisis lie here?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of um that developing feeling of like, okay, I am my own now. Like I am my own person and like I feel like it coincides with you know, trying to be something with it, right? So it's like I move out of my parents' place. Like I live with my girlfriend. I live in New York City. Like I feel like I have so much opportunity at my hands, and there's always like a nagging feeling of like wanting to do something good. And like I get it, you know, it's difficult to say because I do wonder if it all boils down to like, oh, I want to like be awesome. And like everybody wants to be awesome. Everybody wants to do something like really cool and like be recognized for it. And like, yeah. I guess what I'm just trying to say is that like maybe I'm like more important, right?
Yeah.
Than like everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm
you
joking, but
are.
like, no, I mean, I just, I guess I figure everybody else also has that feeling. So you tell me, do you also have that feeling?
Yeah, like you just feel like everybody's beneath you, like they're all like, you have them at your fingertips.
Definitely.
No, no, no. I'm having trouble like understanding what you're trying to say with that.
I guess just like, I don't do a whole lot else other than like work my job and like gamble, hang out with my girlfriend, and like that's all good. And like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like I used to stream a bit and like I'm thinking like I should stream more. Like I enjoyed that. It was like a way for me to like express myself in a way, and like that was really cool. I guess just like doing more things that are better for me. I mean, there's always things that I struggle with in terms of like being consistent about working out and like sleeping enough and stuff like that. But that's a more boring conversation. I feel like of me just like having bad self discipline. I suppose you know.
Yeah, you've always been on top of that though. For like as long as I've known you. At least you've not that you've been like, pumping every day, but you've wanted to pump every day.
I've been the most consistent person in the world at wanting to pump, but I never actually fucking pump.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. How about the one thing that you do where we'll be playing something, playing a game or whatever, and you'll add like a layer to it. You'll be like, okay, if we lose this one, we're gonna do 10 push-ups.
yeah. Well, that was always like my way of trying to justify it to myself of like, okay, I'm choosing to play fucking video games instead of working out. I have to find a way to incorporate this so I don't feel shitty about myself, you know? I mean, I feel like sometimes the biggest hurdle to stuff can like so easily be self-deprecation, because it's like it's so difficult not to get down on yourself when you want to do something so bad and then you don't because like you're partly I just think I'm personally pretty fucking lazy as a person, like I will not get outside enough some days, I will not work out some days, and like I will just get upset with myself, and it makes it a lot more difficult to do it because it's like I think I attach this negative connotation to it, and like that's no good. But I also wonder if me saying that is just like me making excuses to like not think about it and not deal with it, because I can be so avoidant about things like that, and I feel like it's just like, oh, like that sucks, I don't want to feel shitty, I don't want to think about working out, like
Yeah, having feelings of like laziness and not wanting to do things can sometimes lead to, some bigger mental health stuff. Not to get too crazy out here, but
yeah.
like lack of motivation and not, doing things, even especially knowing you want to do those things, but you're just like you're not going to do it is, there could be some other stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a real chicken or the egg thing for me because it's like I wouldn't doubt if like I have similar traits to like an ADD problem or something or whatever the case. I don't want to just like say things that I don't know anything about, so I apologize if I'm out of line here, but like to some extent it's like, yeah, like there may like I don't know. I personally feel like um for the way I conduct myself, I could just be a lot more I could just try harder. Like I feel like I don't try enough. Like there are certain steps that I know I could take to hold myself accountable that I don't because it's comfortable not to. Like
Hmm.
I've gotten good advice. Like I know kind of like how I would want to operate myself in order to do those things better. I just am really bad at holding myself to it, and I don't know if that's anything more than just like me having bad self discipline, me being very reliant on like quick form dopamine, like easy reward circuit type shit.
It's so nice to be like pleasure seeking, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
I'm such a big time pleasure seeker, dude.
Yeah.
I'll always like choose something that is comfortable and easy over something that's hard and difficult. But that's just something you got to overcome.
Do you think it's a big problem?
I think it can be. I think it
Yeah,
can be.
I
You know
said
what?
that and instantly thought like fucking obviously, yeah, but
I mean, it definitely can be. It depends though. There's some people that don't do half as much as you do in a day, dude. Like you worked a full ass job today and bent your back, bent over backwards for some people that like probably like, I don't want to speak for your boss, but maybe doesn't give like two shits about you.
I don't fucking know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. It's
He cares
yeah,
to
I
get your
mean,
work done. But like, but my point where I was getting to there is you know, you do so much shit and there's people that don't do a goddamn thing. And like that is when, you know, it could get problematic.
Yeah. I suppose, yeah, it's and a huge caveat with the whole conversation is that like, obviously I have it much better than a lot of people less fortunate than me, and it's first world problems to a large extent. And
Hmm.
like the whole conversation of like I'm fortunate enough to like move out to New York and like have and like live in like a decent apartment with my girlfriend. Like that's fucking awesome. And like, you know, complaining about a quarter life crisis. It's a little bit cheeky in a sense where like, I know I'm being a bit facetious, but like, it's still, this is my life. I'm talking about it. And yeah, like it is, I can take pride in the fact that like, I show up when I really, really have to. I don't always show up, but whenever it really comes down to it. And like, that is at the end of the day, like the most important thing, I suppose. And everything else is a work in progress, you gotta just try your best.
Yeah, first world problems, man. Don't get hung up on that. You know, everybody has their own issues and stuff that they're dealing with. It doesn't make it any less valid. You know, obviously there's people that are like, you know, I don't need to go into this whole thing, but you know, it's always good to hear your, you know, people you're listening to get more personal and, you know, tell you what's actually going on. I think that that's always interesting to hear, you know, for our like, you know, our massive audience. You know, they're probably wondering like, what does Shane worry about? What does
I
Flame worry
know.
about?
Well, that's the thing is it's like, they think that we're not funny and we have to have them understand that like we're actually really fucking cool and funny people who are like pretty relatable with some real issues, that like everybody can kind of get along with, I hate meetings, right? I hate Mondays. Shit.
We don't
Sometimes
talk
I
about we don't
sometimes I
just
hate
talk about
Tuesdays, bro.
we don't just talk about NBA playoffs, you know? There's more to this
No.
shit.
No, we don't talk about NBA playoffs. I don't even
We're
know what's going
funny. We
on in
could
the
be
playoffs,
funny.
bro. Pretty funny, yeah. Okay, so real quick, the reason why I said is it a problem to just be like pleasure seeking and things like that is I think there's been such a shift in the paradigm of like the way people interact with each other with technology in terms of like social interactions. I think everybody knows that everybody else needs shit like to the point because like everybody is so wired to just like get it right now, right here, how it is, right? I feel like there's been a big shift away from like ridiculously drawn out like conversations, lectures, meetings, and things like that. Like it's more normalized. I feel like to um, to get information quickly and conversations to evolve faster. Like the whole thing about how like younger people don't answer their phone is it's like they'll just want to text you, right? Because like they just want to get the fucking like they don't want to chat, they want to talk, they don't want to talk. Like just give them the info, right? But like I do think that's like a real thing in the world. Like would you say from your social interactions, it's been like you know people kind of get it. They don't want. I mean, skip the fluff, right?
Yeah, my social interactions are like slim to none. It's either at work, it's like, hey, I have this problem, can you fix it? That's all my
Uh-huh.
work is. And then at home, it's just like, you know, with my one of my best friends or a couple of my best friends, you know, or my social interactions are just with my best friends, you know. So I'm
Yeah,
not really we're talking on, you know, about nonsense. We're talking about Fallout show.
yeah. I wonder if we're just like so much in our own bubbles that if we were to like branch out and like talk to people that like we're not familiar with, like different backgrounds,
Oh,
if we would just like struggle,
hey, how's it going? How can you benefit me?
Mm-hmm. This conversation is boring.
Oh my goodness. We're running out of time here on this Zoom session, 3 minutes.
3 minutes on this. Okay, maybe we wrap up this quarter life topic. I guess if you let me monologue for a second here, just about like my total thoughts, then you give your total thoughts, and we'll wrap this up and we'll get over it like some real men. Um, we're young and like we probably have more time than we think to deal with this kind of stuff. Um, I have so many ideas about trying to do things that would make me feel more fulfilled. I've had so many kind of like longer term ideas. Like I want to stream more. I want to do it every day, and I want to work out more. I want to do it every day. There's some like more grandiose things, and I'm thinking like, oh, if I like work towards that, that could be really fulfilling. Like there's a big like a marathon here in New York that seems really cool. That like I think it'd be so sick to like work really hard at it and like run a marathon. Like that'd feel like so cool. So there's things like that. And I wonder if maybe I need to have my goals be more short term and like more attainable than just like thinking, oh yeah, this would fix me if I was just like really committed to this for the next 6 months, or however long it takes to fucking do that, right? So it's like maybe I just need to take it day by day and realize that time's gonna pass one way or another. The minutes are gonna go whatever, no matter what you're doing. So may as well just make an effort each and every day, right?
Well said, well said. I guess my final thoughts on the whole thing would be, just take some chances with your life. And, this is not any advice to you specifically, just in general, because, 3 weeks ago at this point, or I guess 4 weeks ago before the podcast, I wasn't even gonna like ask you to do this. It was just like some random thing and came up in my head, and I was like, whatever, I'm not even gonna like bother him with that. And then, I ended up bothering you with it, and then it worked out, and it's been giving me a lot of, life lately. And I always wondered like how something would like that would come about, and it was really just like taking a chance. And so, I'm just saying, no matter where you guys are at, I don't know who's listening to this. I know Will's listening to this because we're going to be reading his email later.
Argentina.
Will, our guy in Argentina and our guy in Mexico, um, when you guys wake up and you go to your job and you're like, it just sucks these days, man. Just take a chance, do something good. I don't know. You'll figure it out. I'm definitely not worried about you, Will. Not at all.
No, he's got it figured out. He needs to be a guest so he can tell us how to think about this stuff.
Yes, he would probably be very beneficial. But
Yeah.
this is about to end here, so I guess we'll get on with the next segment here.
Yeah. Catch y'all in the next one. Appreciate it. Well, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why you're talking about your family and shit, dude. It's not that funny. And we had a conversation about how we need to be funnier.
No,
And
we're live.
huh?
We're gonna get into the email portion now.
Oh, what's going on? We're back with the second segment. Sorry, the Zoom cut off. The emails, right? I think we've been doing a great job so far of staying away from our tried and true topics, like the NBA and basketball and stuff. So it's actually great we have an email this week to kind of keep us going without it.
Yeah, we do have an email this week from a dear friend of the show, Will.
Shout out, baby.
His email reads, "Hello, Shane. Hello, Vincent. Love the pod. Big fan here. Got some questions for you too. First question: Who will have a better legacy, Ant or Tatum?"
Oh fuck!
Why did you have?
You dragged us right back down into the mud. We're talking about feelings today, and now we're getting basketball questions. What the hell? All right.
Do you want to get into this, or you want to hear the rest of the email?
Should we? Why don't we? Well, let's stop after every question. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ant or Tatum, better legacy?
Yeah. Who will have a better?
Who will
legacy?
have?
Yeah.
Shit. Fucking. I don't know. Fucking. I don't know if they're ever gonna be able Minnesota as a franchise is already kind of claimed by fucking Patrick Beverley, right? With his performances in playoff past. So I don't know. I don't know if Ant really is going to be that important and when it's all said and done. What about you?
Well, you look at it this way. You got two guys, 0 rings.
0 rings.
Celtics have a little bit more playoff success. I'm not going to really, take Tatum over Ant for just that reason. So I'm just going to say it's going to come down to whoever gets more rings. If I were to guess on who would get more rings, I think Tatum would get more rings.
Yeah.
So I think Tatum.
Okay, well, here's the thing, though, is I also think that Tatum winning a bunch of rings might even hurt his legacy because people love to be like, oh, carried, Big people, if Ant never ends up winning anything and Tatum gets 3 rings on this stacked Boston team, I honestly think it would help out Ant more because everyone would be like, oh, his team sucked. He could just never get a good team around him. He was so good. But everybody will look at Tatum and be like, oh, carried,
Yeah, but people will be like, rings, 3 rings. What about it? What if he wins a finals MVP or 2, Then it's like, oh, come on. Hard to say that he's getting carried out there.
Yeah, people would still say it though. I mean, there's that huge perception of Tatum not actually being a superstar. I feel like that would hold him back.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate that narrative, dude. It's actually so stupid.
You think he's a superstar?
Yes, I
I don't
do.
really know. I think he's close enough to where like sure. I mean, I don't know if he's like a top five player in the league, but like close enough, right?
He's not. He'll probably be damn near the top five in the MVP voting this year.
Really?
I think so.
I don't know if I think that's just, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah. So wait, so who's your final say? Ant?
I'm gonna say Ant. Yeah, Ant.
All right, I'm taking Tatum. So there you have it. Well, his second question, would you rather have less rules on defense to make it more physical, or do you value the skill of only touching the ball on defense but having more fouls? What do you think about that one?
Fuck it, dude. Like, let's take away like all the rules. Not all the rules, but like I want to see. I actually always crave this when I watch like hoops games. Is I want to see some fucking collisions down there. You know, like I like we want the skill to be what? We want the skill to be guys finishing through contacts, right? Like, okay, yeah, he's so good at poking the ball away. Yeehaw, give him a fucking trophy, right? Like, come on, I want to see fucking Ant give some guy a concussion, bro. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of like it how it is right now because I'm just imagining a world where you say less rules on defense. I'm just imagining like no fucking like reaching fouls or like no blocking or just no any fouls. Like imagine somebody going up for a dunk and you just fucking like fuck them up.
That's kind of fun.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like it might be fun to it'd be fun to watch, but I mean, shit, those players, man, they'd be getting fucked up out there.
Yeah, I
And
guess
they're
we don't
getting
got one
fucked
that's
up.
getting
Like
hurt.
that's happening like anyways when they're just going for the ball.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when they're fucking like 3 feet off the floor and they're getting like hit, that's probably not good for safety.
Yeah, I mean, I value the skill of only touching the ball.
I
I do think that
guess.
that's like cool. I mean, just to put it in the way that he's saying it, like I think that's like, yeah, it's pretty sick if you can do that.
I do think they have it in a good spot right now, especially with like the post All-Star break changes to
Agree,
where,
dude. It's pretty competitive, man.
yeah, I think they've gotten better at not like giving fouls to foul merchants, you know?
Yeah, agreed. I agree. I think it's been way better. So it's been way more fun to watch, that's for sure.
I think my final answer is it's probably fine right now, but if you're going to change anything, I want to see more contact. I think more fouls is kind of like not fun for the watch for the viewer, and that's kind of all I really care about. So
Well, what kind of fouls do you want to see more of? Like,
I
do
just
you
want to
think
see
a
more.
player should be able to like go up there and like just grab an
No,
arm?
no, but I do want to see more contact. I guess I don't know. I want to see guys like go for like big ass blocks more often, right? Like I don't like it when like like guys are just like kind of getting out of the way because like they know if they try anything, they're just gonna give them an and one. Like I want them to be able to, you know,
That's fair. That's fair.
I want to be able to get up there and fucking try something, right?
That's pretty fair.
Like shit.
All right, that's enough on that one. What's more impressive, a tall guy being athletic, like a guard, like Wemby, or a small guy being better with fundamentals, like AI or prime Celtics Isaiah Thomas?
Oh hell, I might need you to take this one
Did
because
you
I
did you watch prime Celtics Isaiah Thomas?
no that I missed that one. I was watching the fucking Daily Show with Jon Stewart. You have to let me know how that was.
Oh, he was good. He was good.
How skillful was it?
Extremely. So
Is
let
it
me
more?
so let me think here. What's more impressive?
Well,
A
is the argument just
Wemby.
basically like a guy who was born with insane like stats, or like guy who like grinded to get good, right? Like I don't know.
This is a really hard question because like I think it's both very impressive. And I just like I think of it as like yeah, good players, you know? I don't know.
So when I started off my Elden Ring run as a wretch, and like I defeated Tree Sentinel with nothing but a pair of underwear and like a rock or two, was that more impressive, or was it awesome when like fucking Ethan played the game with magic and spells and like rolled every boss? Which is the better gameplay?
I personally I play like Ethan, but I respect the way you play.
Oh, okay. So you just
But
you're
which
hating.
one are you here? Are you Celtics Isaiah Thomas or are you Wemby?
I guess that would make me Celtics Isaiah Thomas because I think it's more impressive and fun when like you rise to the occasion, and like you overcome the odds of like what you were given,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Wemby's crazy, but like, bro, I don't know. Like, he's big as fuck and athletic as fuck. And like, a lot of that is totally like genetics,
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I think, you know, Celtics Isaiah Thomas is more impressive
Fuck yeah.
because he was small as hell out there, man, and getting like layups and shit and getting his threes off. So
Mhm.
that's not easy. That's
I
an
mean,
inspiration.
if
How
you want to talk like, if you want to talk guys like that, let's talk Bulls, Nate Robinson, 2013. What a beast. He was like 5'3" and he was the best player in that series.
how Isaiah Thomas is 5'9".
Oh my God, that is short.
See, now that's way more impressive than
I
Wemby.
was
But
being, I
obviously
was
Wemby's
exaggerating.
amazing.
Nate Robinson is also 5'9". He was good.
He was slam dunk champion.
No way,
Yeah,
dude.
a
That's
slam dunk
crazy.
champion.
I can't dunk.
Really?
No, can you dunk?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we have one of our friends that actually is kind of a sad story. He's been trying to dunk since he was like 12 years old and just had a really bad accident a couple years ago and broke his wrist in attempting to. So he lost his battle against the rim, unfortunately.
This friend listens to the pod.
Uh-oh. Well, if you listen to the pod and you're this friend and you heard that, send me a frog emoji so I know you listened.
Oh, he'll definitely listen. I force it down him every single week.
Good, as you should. We have friends. Why aren't they supporting us? It's all I can wonder. Probably because we're not funny enough. But what are you
Well,
gonna do?
that'll conclude the email portion for this week and all the basketball we'll ever cover ever again on the show.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it again. Don't worry.
Now, we'll talk
Ooh.
sports, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We're
I
gonna
know.
have guests. We're gonna have tier lists. We're gonna chat some sports. We're gonna chat about life. Like, get over it. Why are you so obsessed with us?
And Himothy's staying around as well for the
Yes.
time being. We'll see where that goes. But, I feel good about Himothy right now.
Speak of the devil.
Do you want to get into Himothy?
Do we have anything else to cover?
No, sir.
Okay.
So the results of Himothy this past week. Jimmy John's employee wins. Unanimous
What?
decision. Angel Reese did not receive a vote.
All right. I see how it is. Damn. Didn't realize y'all were like that.
So actually so the first week we tied, but I'm 2-0-1 right now for Himothy's of the week.
None of mine have won.
No, you've tied.
That's fucked up.
Your first week
That's.
tied. Who did you pick first week? I don't even remember.
I think I picked my cat,
Oh yeah, your cat tied with Jalen Green in week
and
one
then I had J Cole. But
versus
maybe
Jalen Brunson, who
but maybe
won.
people were voting against J Cole because he was supposed to get voted against.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe I actually won.
Yeah, you can tell yourself that.
Okay, so I'm like what 1-1-1 then.
No, sure.
So this is for the championship then.
Well, Timothy might be here for a while.
Well, we better get the jokes flowing then. Okay, well, you got one for this week?
I do not off the top of my head, honestly. I want to maybe say one person. He'll probably just get an honorable mention because I don't really want to do NBA.
Okay.
Do you have one?
No.
Okay, so Timothy this week's looking a little dry. Who was good this week?
It's just a tough week for people. I mean, not much is going down. Trying to think.
Let me look through my text messages. Did anybody kill it this week,
I mean, I could maybe shout out GT Dave. Have you ever seen like the GT Dave like mini doc?
Who the hell is GT Dave, bro?
He makes this kombucha, the GT Dave Synergy kombucha. He's like the biggest freak you'll ever see in your entire life. That like it's like an interview docu short doc about like his house, how he lives. He is a freak. If you ever get some time to take a look at him.
So you're picking a freak for Himothy of the week?
Can I actually? You know what? I actually know my Himothy of the week. I thought about this a little bit.
Okay.
My Himothy of the week is not going to be a singular person. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I go off the board here?
Yeah.
My Himothy of the week is going to be journalists.
Okay.
Journalists that cover stories that matter to us, that matter to the world. We had a heated discussion about this in Discord recently about the authenticity of some journalists, some news publications. And you know what? I feel like there's been such a push for things like, oh, you can't trust this, you can't do this, the fake news. And I feel like so many like journalists like who genuinely like give a shit about like investigating things and like articulating a message to people and getting things right. I feel like they've all caught in like a massive stray, like they're hard workers. It's an industry that is not forgiving. My girlfriend's a journalist, as I mentioned, and she's trying to get a job right now. It's fucking terrible. It's very difficult. So it's like they don't get paid well. They have a hard time getting into any kind of position. They've been gotten nothing but scrutiny from the public ever since like 2013 when the internet got invented and everybody realized you can lie. Like when did lying become legal? Oh, around like 2015 when the internet got invented as well, right? Like it's fucking stupid. So I think these people get an unfair shake, and I think that you know what they deserve a little bit of a shout out. So I'm going for journalists. Boom.
Journalists. What a fun Himothy. They just want to write about shit, man, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a big uh protest, big stories going down at the Columbia School, which is famous for journalism, which is close to me. So we won't get into the optics of that, but yeah, some crazy stuff. And journalism is important. Democracy dies in darkness.
Wow. All right, so it's going to be journalists against who's going to be my Himothy. I'm really struggling here, guys. Bear with me. I wish I had such a good one. You know what? Since you did something more broad like that, I'm going to give Himothy this week to the Fallout TV show because
Okay.
the Fallout TV show actually gave me 3 days of like very much like good entertainment. I was like super into it. So I really appreciate that. And now my TikToks all Fallout. It's just giving me a whole new world of content. So, and I haven't watched a good live action series in God knows how long. So shout out to the Fallout TV show. Watch it,
I
guys.
got I got nothing but respect for that. It sounds fun. I want to watch it, and you shouldn't feel bad for picking a good TV show like that. One recommendation. I've heard that Shogun from FX is very good live
I've been
action.
seeing that. I've been seeing a lot of
Uh-huh.
talk about Shogun, dude. Do I need to
Uh-huh.
watch Shogun?
I think I probably will because it's getting such great reviews and it's very Game of Thrones-esque, and Allison loves Game of Thrones, so I probably will. It's weird though, the way they promote it, it seems like FX like accidentally made a good show because they promote it in such a cringe way, I personally feel, where it's like it just looks so stupid, but then like everybody seems to love it. So I'm all for it. I shouldn't say look stupid. That was the wrong word to use because like it's
Yeah, you're not selling me on it.
no, it's just supposed to be really good. I hate those. I hate the FX commercials. Like they over like saturate like some like weird moments and make it seem like so. They make it seem like it's just like an action show that's like set in like I think it's set in like samurai times for Japan. I could be wrong about that. I don't know everything about it, but that's what it seems. It just seems like they're trying to like take advantage of like a cool aesthetic like in an era, and like that like wasn't a whole lot of depth. But apparently it's really good, so I'm looking forward to that. Not to take anything away from Timothy, Fallout.
So I'm gonna start playing Ghost of Tsushima and watching Shogun at the same time.
And Sekiro.
And Sekiro. Maybe I'll start with that. Because
Didn't
I
Sekiro win Game of the Year?
did it.
Let me look it up. I think it did.
Let's fact check that.
People love Sekiro. Yeah, it did.
Do we need a guy on the show that we could be like, hey, fact check that for us? Like
We do. We
like on the
do.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, that fucker. Whenever they're like saying things wrong like 16 times a show, they're like, "Hey, is that right?" He's like, "No."
Do we need somebody like that?
It's half off right now, Sekiro. It'd probably be a fun playthrough. It's oh my god, yeah, it gets insane reviews. 2019. I thought it was more recent.
2019 it
We
won.
did. It came out in 2019, so whatever. I'm assuming, yeah. Game of the Year edition. How fun. Yeah, probably a great game. I was texting you earlier today, and I mentioned it because I was watching Northern Lion play it on stream. Is Elden Ring. He was playing the seamless co-op mod, which seems really cool. There's a lot of like weird limitations that you sent me about like the regular base game Elden Ring for like playing co-op.
Mhm.
Like you can't summon the fucking horse, right? You
Hmm.
can't
Only
like
the host can.
yeah, you can't if you beat a boss, like everyone gets sent back to their own shit. Like it's just like really strange
It's
stuff that like
terrible.
yeah. So there's a mod that like basically gets rid of all that kind of stuff, and it's been out for a little bit. I think actually I was wrong about it being new, but it seems really cool and it'd be a lot of fun to play. Although I don't think you'll be able to on a PS5, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. I would really like that. Big DLC coming for that game as well.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. I Elden Ring was a great game. I actually never finished it. Still, so
You're not an Elden Lord?
no. Wait, did From Software is the Elden Ring developer, right?
Yeah.
They made Sekiro. I'm looking at my screen right now. And Sekiro.
Hmm.
Oh, you knew that? Yeah. Well, shit. I guess they're popping off then.
They're good, dude. They also have
They do.
Bloodborne,
Yeah. I
Dark
mean,
Souls,
I've seen gameplay of Sekiro, and it looks very similar in terms of like third person, like combat. Like
Fight the
that kind of
Boss.
stuff.
It's the same shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Although Sekiro, that's not open world, right? But neither the Souls games aren't open world. That's just Elden Ring, right?
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I should try it out. I did like Elden Ring. I had my own personal gripes with it, but we don't have to get into that now.
I love it. It's one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the quality.
What's your favorite game ever? Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, if we're gonna broaden the definition of game, then like shit, maybe. Um, Favorite game ever is a crazy question. That's a
I think
crazy
my
one.
favorite game is Skyrim.
Yeah, I wish I would have got more into Skyrim. Do you want to elaborate at all on your fun times on Skyrim,
Um, it was
or
really fun.
is it personal stuff?
So personal. We've gotten so deep on the show already. I don't know if I should talk about
Yeah,
Skyrim right now.
it's just I find there's an inverse relationship between like quality of game and like how much I actually enjoy it sometimes. So it's like it's difficult for me to say because I've played so many games that are truly like awesome, but my most fun that I've had have been on like particularly shitty games, unfortunately, just because they
Yeah.
can. I mean, like we play like with our friends, and it's so much fun when like it's a silly game. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I had so much fun on the first Destiny game. So much fun, like because it's really built towards the way my mind works, which is like extremely difficult, extremely rewarding tasks to work for, which is either a raid. Completing the raids are always really difficult, and also getting 9 straight wins in the Trials of Osiris, which is like their competitive multiplayer game mode.
Hmm.
And Destiny had its problems. It wasn't a perfect game, and I don't by any stretch think it's a better game or even close to games like Elden Ring and things like that. But shit, I had so much fun trying to get to that like those levels. Like
You know, Destiny 2 is like still pumping content.
yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're releasing new DLC for $65 every couple weeks. That wouldn't surprise me.
It's so shocking to me though.
I mean, Destiny is a enthralling game. It doesn't surprise me too much that people are still hitting it.
I feel like they're shutting out some audience though. Like I'm a Destiny fan. Like I was pumped for Destiny 2 and I like maxed out like super quick. Like there wasn't even enough DLC for me at the time. But then
Well,
I feel like it's kind of shutting me out because like I'm not gonna hop back in there. I know I've missed like 10 plus DLCs, you know? Like if they did Destiny 3 though, like do you know how fast I'd be hopping on that?
yeah, well, it's fucking Activision's fault because like they purposefully excluded a shit ton of content from the Destiny 2 base game so that they could sell it as DLC along the way. And there's the whole it's like the King DLC. I forget the exact name for it, but this is similar to our conversation about video game developer greed that we had in our second episode. But yeah, basically Activision just made the second Destiny a huge fucking cash grab and made the content shit. There wasn't enough of it at first, and then like they gave a big middle finger to their fans, saying, "Okay, if you actually want all the content that you should have gotten with this game, you have to pay for it." And everybody was like, "Fuck that," and especially me. And that's like that was my last interaction with Destiny. Is that there's not enough here. I'm not gonna like get fucked over by you because you want to take advantage of your customers. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point for me. I remember I bought the first one and then I never bought another one.
Yeah, I think I did buy. Oh, you're talking DLC.
Yeah, the first Destiny 2 DLC.
Uh, I'm not sure I even got to that point. I think I was pissed.
Yeah, it's because the base game you could finish it in a couple of days, dude.
If that,
Like at
if that.
max.
Yeah. Yeah. It was disappointing.
I think we could pretty much wrap it up here, though.
Sure. Yeah. I thought this was pretty funny. I had a funny time. I had a funny feeling this would be a funny episode just with the way that things were more funny today. So
Oh yeah,
glad about that.
yeah. I'm really hoping you guys enjoy this week's episode. We got a lot more personal than we ever have. I guess
Yeah.
we do want to shift things away from, just like a whole hour about sports. We don't really want that to be our MO.
No, it was never intended to be so sport focused. I think it just ended up that talking about sports and hoops was really easy to do. And it's so topical right now with the playoffs that like we got sucked into it real easily. But we're more than that.
Yeah, we're two friends having a conversation by the fireside or the flame side,
Not a
will
flame
you?
side.
So that's kind of the goal of this. And of course, we want to be known as the email guys. So send them in, guys, flamesidepod@gmail.com. Should have said that earlier. It should be on the screen. Flamesidepod@gmail.com.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will. Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Will. Appreciate everybody's support. Shout out to my dad. I know you're listening. Shout out to Alex, our guy who made the music for the show. Shout out to him.
Send us
So
frog emojis if you're listening.
send us frog emojis if you guys caught this episode. But yeah, that'll do it for week 4 of the Flameside podcast. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Have a good one.